and very strong when it comes to team fighting in the early stages of the game. Massive chance for them to take this. So this is actually a pretty good draft between two teams. I'm excited to see what the Layla can bring to the table.
And I'm just as thrilled as you are. We didn't get to see that last pick for what they're going to slot against the Layla in the gold lane. You know, when I tried to guess it last time, that's when the Layla came out. We don't know yet. As we're going to jump to the Land of Dawn, we'll definitely let you guys know. But nonetheless, we're up for a great match in today's first series of the day, stepping into the virtual arena. We are in the semifinals for Game of Futures 2024. We're going to be seeing Indonesia up against AP Bren, holding the banner from Indonesia and holding the banner for the Philippines. The last Filipino team standing so far as Blacklist was knocked down. Will we be able to see AP Bren push on forth to the grand final, or will we see Rrq Hoshi rise to the occasion?
Gonna be close. Is this how Bren defeats his former team? Right? Is it the Layla that we will see in this particular matchup that eventually overcomes AP Bren? We'll be able to find out. For now, I'm looking at the matchups in all of the lanes. First off, Clint versus Layla. I gotta say, like, maybe it's still Clint favored, like if it's a pure 1v1, just because of the passive. And that's always been the case for Clint. He can win the laning stage just because of the passive. And I'm sure that Super Marco is pretty much able to be adept with that hero. Now we're looking at the other end. It's Paquito going up against the CC. Now this is like a very tricky. It still is matchup based, but I gotta say it's probably is CC favored in a way that it's easier for the CC to duel against the Paquito. It's not a win per se, but it's a much easier for that one. But now Few.
Yeah, it's going to rush in a little bit of damage in the mid lane. I love how you kind of broke down some of these matchups, right? I mean, when we're looking at the Layla, we know it's a really late game damage dealer that can close the game out if you let her kind of get those items. And also, I always like to call it a glass cannon, right? Very squishy in the beginning, easy to kill if you can dive. And that should be a focus for AP Bren if they do want to shut down Skylar. Because, I mean, we all seen how this played out before, right? So can AP Bren be the difference and not have the same thing happen to them? As you are seeing a big flash in the mid lane, not able to connect with the Abysm Strike with some early aggression from Rrq Hoshi.
Yeah. We haven't really talked much about this Darath, but I do like this pickup. Third pick coming up from Rrq Hoshi. After the Baksha was already revealed, they're confident enough to go for the jungle Darath, which we know is a direct answer to the Baksha, right? So it has enough burst to counteract the sustain that you can get from the Baksha, and there is no hero from AP Bren, even the Ruby, that can stay in front of that Darath.
Yeah, it's big enough staying in front of things. Everybody fight it out in front of the turtle. It does get reset. Nether Realm activated over there, trying to keep the team alive. Few being able to proc it. Ogwin will find Irad, though. Does take down the Dirath we were just talking about, meaning Rrq Hoshi will not have the retribution, and the first objective will go to AP Bren.
I can see AP Bren, after the Vengeance was popped from Banana, immediately they just, they dropped it like it's a very hot plate. And then they went in back for the Faramis ultimate, which allowed them to eventually take out Irad. And after the dash from the Dirath, that is the main weakness of the hero, by the way. No immediate dash afterwards. Oh my god, that's the problem. You don't... That's the problem with Kufra, right? It doesn't really actually protect teammates anymore. Especially if you start the fight with the jump.
You kind of called it, the ace in the hole that they need to look out for. The Kufra could be a possible problem trying to protect Sky. I mean, some great setups from Ogwin, hitting them with the I'm offended. A lot of chain CC from that Ruby, and also sustainability to stay alive when that Layla's trying to burst him down. With Super Marco taking up that kill, it will put him at a slight advantage. You know, he's trying to kind of scale a little bit better than a Layla. We mentioned if they can take down Skylar in the early phase, this is where you see the glass cannon of Layla kind of break down.
Yeah. You see the Ruby as well coming out from Ogwin, not even needing the flicker in that moment. That's gonna be hurtful for Rrq Hoshi, but that's also something that Brusco has to learn from now. He has to really delegate himself and his skills to save his teammates and not initiate for now, because they don't have that license to start the fights. Maybe if they have the conceal already, that's when they can probably make a play out of the Kufra. But for now, your duty as this Kufra for Brusco is just for protecting your teammates.
Yeah, and I mean, Speaking of protecting teammates, I mean, we did see it go to a 30-minute game the last time Rrq Hoshi had the Layla. So even though they were kind of getting a lot of objectives taken from them and having a hard time, they were able to still sustain themselves until Skylar got all of those items necessary. And then he was able to get the game winner to close out the game. So AP Bren, even though they have the slight advantage, 2 kills up, we need to see them kind of close it out. That's where Deus Fuchs kind of struggled up against the Layla. Even though they dominated in the early phase, in the mid game, they just couldn't close the game out. And then that's when Skylar came alive. But right now, AP Bren sitting really good in the early phase of things.
If you look back 20 or 30 seconds ago, you can see AP Bren's micro rotation wherein they went in for the crab play and they gave it to Super Marco. But now they dash in the middle.
Yeah, big knockup for the stun. Hitting Kyle Teasy and Few, forcing out the Nether Realm, keeping the team alive. Abysm Strike, not going to deal the damage Irad was looking for. And back to the purple buff he goes. Vengeance proc by Banana. Very low, will disengage into the mid lane.
And that's actually what Brusco needs to be doing. Imagine if he initiated first, he couldn't have defended his teammates. However, Irad wanted to go for the play when there is still the Fire Mist ultimate. And unfortunately for Rrq Hoshi, this is the power spike for AP Bren. When you have the backshot at the first turtle, it's gonna be great.
Ooh. Speaking of things that are great, massive damage. Destruction Rush able to connect onto Ogwin from Skylar. You're already seeing how heavy of a hitter that Layla can be. Irad trying to close the distance. Abysm Strike onto Super Marco, but now hit with the stun. Kyle Teasy hiding the damage, slowing him down, trying to get a pick off. Down he goes. Few will take down Irad on the aggressive back lane play, and that'll be 3 kills on the board for AP Bren.
Oh man, Irad just overheating up top. You'll understand why he went for that play. He knows that Super Marco is there, but Ogwin, even with just a quarter HP or even less, he went for the heads-up play to stun Irad so that Super Marco will be able to attack for a bit, maybe lifesteal a bit, get out into safety, and then Kyle Teasy jumped into the fray. That one weird interaction is that Brusco didn't immediately jump with the Tyrant's Revenge. He waited for far too long, and that might have been the reason why Irad actually did not survive that. Because he's already in range, right, to stop his teammate, but that costed them a death on Irad. So sometimes those trade-offs, even if you maybe sacrifice your life as the Kufra, you're gonna be way better off if Irad survived that play. So that is something that really is gonna be the dilemma for Rrq Hoshi.
Speaking of dilemmas, we kind of talked about earlier in the draft things AP Bren could do to shut down Rrq Hoshi, and it was definitely putting some discomfort in the gold lane and the XP lane, taking down Skylar, taking Banana. They found a kill on Skylar, and they were also able to extend the gold lead for their marksman. He's now up 1,000 gold Super Marco over him. But speaking about the lanes, Few will find Skylar, and you are seeing the chase on a Brusco. Flap Teasy gonna hit him with the heavy left punch. That is going to be 2 more kills for the side of AP Bren, and now a 4,000 gold lead.
Whew. It's going to bite him. And even Octa has to run away for now. And they're going to be going for the turtle. I think this is AP Bren's. Oh, Irad! Okay, never mind. Okay, the mechanic. Working on it.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, while they got the turtle on the bot side, though, you did see Flap Teasy take that tier 2 turret. So they have map control for the side AP Bren and also a great gold lead. Even though they didn't claim that turtle, I would still say overall that's a better trade for them, which is how far ahead they are for Rrq Hoshi. They need to start translating some of these objectives in their favor, right? Maybe opening up the map would be a great start, because I don't know if AP Bren's the type of team that's going to let them take it to a 30-minute game like Day is Full.
Yeah, AP Bren is known to go for the, like in the movies, go for the head. You should have aimed for that. That's definitely what AP Bren is trying to do almost all the time, especially the way that they're drafting. And then you really have to commend AP Bren from their previous rotations. Like every rotation, be it micro or macro rotation, benefits the team in general. Like for example, what I said earlier, when they went in for the play up top for Super Marco to give him the gold grab. That's that looks like a small play, but if you compound all of those plays all together, you can see AP Bren really just dominating the map afterwards. Then after this before the turtle fight, they moved in a way that they were able to poke Rrq Hoshi, they were able to poke Octa. Then that meant that they can push easily. Another play.
Yeah, big play on the way. Super Marco will find Banana. They opted in on the conceal play, just went straight forward as a full 5-man team to be able to take him down. Used a lot of utility though, but was able to extend that kill lead now 6-0. I mean, this gold is steady climbing. They're up by like 6,000 gold now, 3 turrets in, 2 above Rrq Hoshi. Rrq Hoshi has yet to find a kill so far in this entire game. As we are hitting that 10-minute mark, a little bit of a struggle in today's matchup. But like we said, Rrq Hoshi, when they pick up the Layla, they're banking on the late game. We know we're going to lose a little bit in the early phase, in the mid phase even, but if we can hold off, they can turn this around. But AP Bren, like you said, going straight for the head, cutting the head off the Serpent. What they're looking to do, trying to shut him down. You are going to see big setup though. Banana taking the half HP. Kyle Teasy going in for the kill. Flap Teasy joining him. We'll take him down. Netherrealm to keep AP Bren alive. Flap Teasy will find Irad with a heavy left punch. 2 members falling for Rrq Hoshi, and the Lord Pit has been controlled by AP Bren. But can we see Rrq Hoshi turn this around? No. Looks like they are going to have to disengage. They don't have the numbers. They don't have the damage. And they're also too far behind in the economy.
It can now be proven that AP Bren is the tournament's tempo controller. Oh, Brusco with the play.
Ooh, rushes in on the Skylar. Flap Teasy. Who did it? The dynamic duo in effect. Brusco very low, makes his way into the tier 2 turret, which may open up the opportunity for Ogwin to try and push in. But you are seeing Octa over there. Both teams fighting out. Yeah. Now going over to that purple buff for a slight invasion. Man, overall, such a great game for AP Bren. Rrq Hoshi, what do they do to turn this around?
Well, they have to regain the tempo at the very least. Second, if they can't do that, the only other option here is to just survive this mid game. Just make sure that you don't lose your base. Maybe try to win when everyone is locked 23 minutes. But that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, definitely going to be a challenge. Destruction Rush going out from Skylar, trying to clear those minions. Not even enough damage to do that. Down goes the tier 2 turret in the mid lane. And now you're looking at Rrq Hoshi stripped down to their inhibitors.
Yeah. Going to be difficult now for Rrq Hoshi for sure. And I gotta say, there was this play that AP Bren did again in the mid lane where Super Marco looked to be alone in the mid lane when he's pushing, but already Flap TZ is pushing that is already positioned in that bush near the mid lane, so that left side of the turret. That's why even after the initiation coming out from Brusco with the Flicker Tyrant's Revenge, and we know that Octa is there for damage, AP Bren was prepared. This tells us that whatever AP Bren is doing, they're doing a buddy-buddy system, or at the very least, they're making a macro play for it. In that specific case, like look at the bush that Kaltiz is holding. When somebody shows himself in the mid lane, it's an ambush, right? So nobody from AP Bren is ever alone. They will not make the play that looks like they're isolated. This is the championship caliber team that you're seeing. They have plans every time that they're trying to move.
And this is kind of looking similar to the game with Deus Volt up against Rrq Hoshi when Rrq Hoshi picked up the Layla of Skylar. And the problem was Deus Volt was not able to close the game out, even with this massive boost in the economy and the objectives overall on the map. But AP Bren letting the world know, hey, we are the champions and we planned to let it stay that way, as they are going to go in with the concealed play. Kyle TZ initiating onto Rrq Hoshi. A double stun. Black TZ will find Irad, one member falling. And it looks like Rrq Hoshi will be forced back into the base. AP Bren in total control.
Wow. 10-0. And the grip is not loosening at all. You see Rrq Hoshi being desperate for farm. They're trying to do everything that they can just to get the farm. And all things considered, Irad might have gone for the only play possible. Yeah, obviously he died, but then again, AP Bren knew exactly that will happen. And now Lord Fight, no retribution for Rrq Hoshi.
Yeah, Brusco winding up, decides to hit a quick 180. Wasn't able to find the opportunity. Skylar trying to get the steal, unable to connect with the Destruction Rush. AP Bren will claim this Lord, and a body of Super Marco will take down Brusco. I would call that a 2-for-none trade. And right now, we haven't seen Rrq Hoshi really take any objectives, no kills. And so far, it's been more of a reactionary side of things for them. AP Bren just controlling the tempo.
You nailed the right term for Rrq Hoshi. Yeah, they're reactionary, heavily reactive. They're not making the heads-up play, right? They're not making a play. That's what I'm trying to say here for Rrq Hoshi. They're always just reacting to what AP Bren is doing. And that is how you know a team has controlled the tempo, right? So whatever is happening to Rrq Hoshi right now is not entirely their fault. It's AP Bren just forcing them to be in that spot. AP Bren are so active, and they're taking control of the tempo so quickly.
Yeah, speaking about taking control, stepping into the base for Rrq Hoshi for a possible early finish. AP Bren trying to seize the opportunity, but the Lord is getting bursted down. It has now fallen, and out of the base, AP Bren goes. Now, it is now 15 minutes in, getting to that 15-minute mark. Like we said, the later the game goes, the better it'll be for Rrq Hoshi to be able to turn this around. Wind of Nature picked up from Super Marco, definitely getting ready to kind of take that fight and negate the physical damage, as you are seeing them possibly go in to try and take some of these remaining inhibitor turrets.
Yeah. AP Bren, very disciplined in this push. Even when they're leading by so much, they're trying to dive. And Flap easy with the halberd. That's going to be deadly. I mean, that is your way of dealing with the Layla, even in the latter portions of the game, even in the late game. Surely the Wind of Nature for Skylar will be key. And I think that he will pick that up later on. But imagine in a refreshed team fight, that halberd pickup coming out from Flap Teasy is going to destroy Skylar.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard, right, for the side of Rrq Hoshi to turn this around. I mean, Brusco, off to a rough start, not really able to find the opportunities for the sets he was looking for. And it's going to be a challenge, especially going up against Ogwin on this Ruby. I mean, even if he tries to hit a Tyrant's Revenge or Tyrant's Rage, for a group setup, I mean, Ogwin just has to provide a little bit of chain CC to kind of stop him in his tracks. And I feel like that's a little bit of the struggle we've been seeing so far for him to be able to get those setups that Rrq Hoshi is baiting for.
Yeah, I'm coming up of ways for Rrq Hoshi to come back from this game. The number one option, obviously, is just to rely on the late game of Layla, which is honestly not a bad idea if you think about it. I mean, that's their only way. There's really no other way for them to win this game apart from really depend on Skylar and his immense amount of damage in the late game. So how do they get that to that point? My magic number is 23 minutes, where everybody's just farmed out. Everybody's just locked item, and it wouldn't matter if you lose one inhibitor or maybe all of your inhibitors. It wouldn't matter as long as you keep your base, and your defense will be there. You have the Lilia anyways to breach you into that late game because you have wave clear. Then again, will AP Bren allow that? Because so far, AP Bren, they have now the luxury to go for banana.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and do the banana splits. Super Marco taking him down. Ice Cream Sunday. We'll be able to find one member, Rrq Hoshi. Tried to get that contest on that last minute Lord still. Didn't really work out in his favor, and that's gonna put Rrq Hoshi in a disposition in this team fight.
Really questionable play coming up from Banana, going for that. I mean, they have already conceded the Lord. It didn't have to really look into that Lord, knowing that there's a lot of catch from AP Bren. You have Kyle Teasy, and you have Ogun with the Flicker and Flap Teasy. Then you're a CC with only one legitimate dash. So, really questionable play coming up from Banana out there.
Yeah, and AP Bren holding the banner for the Philippines, trying to find their first game of the day up against Indonesia or Rrq Hoshi. But some great defense. They were able to burst down that Lord to hold off AP Bren from closing out this game a second time. Mentioned that 23 mark being the time that we are going to be looking to for Rrq Hoshi to have the damage necessary with all the late game items for Skylar to turn this around. Trust in Layla, the $1 million baby in the scenes, could make the difference.
AP Bren are going to be disciplined once more. I want to keep this 12-0 love set as much as possible, and you'll understand why. Rrq Hoshi going to have to really commend their defense. Even when it was 4v5, they were able to keep Skylar safe. That's always going to be the case. And like I said, the Lilia is the bridge for them to get into the late game. You can set up your bombs. But now, Kaltizi wants to fight. Oh my God.
Octa very low, trying to get away. Use the black shoes. Ogwin on the chase, but a massive damage output. Netherrealm going down. Super Marco will find Brusco. Few takes down Octa. 2 members down for the side of Rrq Hoshi. Make that a third as Super Marco gets another. Is going to go ahead and shut down Irad, leaving Skylar and Banana, the side laners who've been dealing so much damage in Game of Futures 2024 by themselves. AP Bren, Kyle Teasy will shut down the $1 million baby. Skylar will fall. Banana trying to get away, but running the wrong direction. Looks like he won't be able to contest. They're just going to let him get out of there. He's not going to be able to recall back. Few still will get the kill and a full wipeout against Rrq Hoshi. AP Bren takes game number 1.